If everyone agrees leadership must improve, why does implementation stall the moment it becomes real? Organizations do not resist change because people are emotional. They resist change because systems protect stability. That is the shift. You see this in practice. A leadership program pushes for more ownership. For a few weeks, decisions move faster. Leaders step in less. Teams take more responsibility. Then, pressure increases. A deadline slips, a client escalates, visibility rises. And suddenly, decisions move upward again. More approvals appear. More alignment is required. Control tightens. Nothing was announced. No one said, let's go back. But the system returned to what it knows. There's a name for this: homeostasis. A system acts to maintain its current state. Not because someone decides it, because the structure produces it. And once you see it, you cannot miss it. Every organization is built to stay consistent. Budgets follow patterns. Authority follows hierarchy. Influence builds around known behavior. This creates stability. And stability is not passive. It is protected. Protection is not a decision. It is a pattern. It shows up in how decisions are made, in how risk is handled, in how performance is judged. Over time, these patterns become invisible. They feel normal, but they are not neutral. They define what the system allows and what it rejects. When a leadership intervention introduces new standards, it does not just add behavior. It disturbs the system. Not philosophically, operationally. Because new leadership behavior changes how decisions are made, how power is distributed, how performance is exposed, and that creates tension. You see it immediately. Meetings take longer. Decisions feel less clear. Alignment takes more effort. Why? Because the system is adjusting. Old shortcuts stop working. New behavior has not stabilized yet. So the system experiences this as friction, not improvement. And systems protect three things: predictability, hierarchy, and identity. Predictability means stable output. It means knowing what will happen next. Leadership change increases variability. People challenge more. They make different decisions. They expose problems earlier. In the short term, this creates noise. Performance may fluctuate. Results may look less stable. And organizations resist that. Because stability feels like control, even when it hides deeper issues. So the system starts filtering. It slows decision. It adds approvals. It increases coordination layers, not to block change directly, but to reduce variability. And that gradually neutralizes the intervention. Hierarchy. Hierarchy means control. It defines who decides, who approves, who carries final responsibility. Leadership programs often push decisions downward. They ask leaders to distribute ownership. But that changes control, even if temporarily. And loss of control creates tension because control is not just authority, it is protection. Protection from risk, protection from visibility, protection from failure. So when control is challenged, the system reacts. It does not say no, it adapts. It adds checkpoints. It redefines decision rights. It recentralizes under pressure. Slowly, quietly, until the original process returns. Third, identity is how the organization sees itself. We are collaborative. We are performance-driven. We are agile. But these are claims, not always reality. When leadership behavior changes, gaps between how the organization sees itself and how it acts become visible. Decisions slow down, conflicts surface, weaknesses appear, and identity gets challenged. That is uncomfortable. So the system protects it. It reframes reality. It's not the right time to do this. The company is not ready. We need more alignment. These sound reasonable, but they delay exposure, and delay protects identity. Now, bring consequence into this. If leaders take ownership, mistakes become visible. If accountability increases, performance gaps surface. If feedback becomes direct, protection decreases. This affects reputation, influence, progression. So, resistance is not emotional, it is structural. This is the part most organizations miss. Even if leaders agree, even if they try, the system will still pull them back because the system still rewards the old behavior. Alignment at the level of intention is weak because intention is tested under pressure, and pressure activates the system, not the training. So even committed leaders adapt, not because they lack discipline, because the environment defines what holds. Think about what happens next. Leaders do not say, I reject the program. They say, let's be careful here. We need more alignment. Let's not rush this decision. Each sentence sounds reasonable. Each decision makes sense locally. But directionally, they all move the same way. Back to control, back to protection, back to stability. That is how the system corrects itself. If escalation is safer than ownership, leaders escalate. If protecting territory preserves influence, leaders protect territory. If avoiding tension maintains stability, leaders avoid tension. And over time, these small adjustments accumulate until the system looks unchanged. This not happens once. It happens repeatedly. Small decisions, small adjustments, small compromises. Each one makes sense locally. But together, they restore the original system. That is how resistance works. Not through rejection, not through gradual alignment with existing rules. So, implementation does not fail at the training level. It fails at the system level. You cannot change leadership behavior inside a system that rewards the opposite. This is where CEO HR tension sharpens. HR designs the program. The CEO expects performance change. Both are aligned on intention, but they operate at different levels. HR operates at capability level. CEO evaluates at performance level. The system operates at structural level. And structure dominates both. So the real question is not why are people resisting? It is what is the system protecting? Because until that changes, leadership change will remain temporary. If this way of thinking is useful, the deeper analysis lives in the newsletter. That's where I examine leadership capacity at structural level. If you want the next breakdown, subscribe to the channel. And if this changes how you see motivation and leadership, share it with someone who leads. Rewire how you lead.